Let's try doing this again. I was making a video and the maintenance guy was calling and saying, oh, he did not know what time he was supposed to be here, which was supposed to be at 10:15. Now it's pushed to 11:30. Whatever. So I got my plant stand yesterday, and it's all right. It doesn't hold the plants quite like I thought it would. Each shelf holds 22 pounds, and my pot happens to be around 24 pounds, so I didn't trust it. So I put it back onto my little elephant, these cool little elephant stands that I have, that I've had for a long time. They come in a set of 3, plus a table that goes with it, this table here. And the legs on this are made of bamboo. I've had this a long time. I got it a long time ago at Marshall's. And yeah, they're holding up good. Holding up really nicely. Anyway, I got the plants on there. Mind you, when you live in a small apartment, you have to do your apartment the best way you can figure out how to do it, you know? So, I have some knickknacks on here too. And then we have my seashell cabinet. Well, it's plastic, but I call it a cabinet because it's encasing all my seashells. And yeah, I think it looks quite cute. It has some knickknacks on here on the bottom. And a few, these are like my fossilized shells. And then I have petrified wood in the back. They're actually not petrified. It's interesting. They're not hard like petrified wood, but they are an interesting thing here. Check this guy out. So this guy, I found him up here in the mountains in Colorado. And as you can see, the top has a dolphin on it. I don't know if you can see that. And then the base of it is actually a whale's head. It has an eyeball and everything, and its mouth is open, and a dolphin's riding on top of him. And then back here is a rhino. Perfect rhino. Found in the mountains on the ground. Isn't that crazy? And then these guys are barnacles from the ocean. I think they're so cool. My little elephant collection. I used to have a lot more things in the past. My kids made these guys for me. My daughter made this, and I believe she made that too. And that, I'm just kind of like, I used to collect a lot of knickknacks and everything, but I actually got rid of all of it. And it's a good thing I did, because I wouldn't have never had room for my seashells. Anyway, yeah, I kind of like my collection here of stuff, my seashell collection. I think it's really pretty. We've got shells here from the Philippines, like that, and that one in the middle there, and yeah, so really, and that one up there, that brown one. Just cool stuff, you know. Anyway, all gotten at the thrift store, by the way. And then I made this guy out of some little really special cool shells that I have. I took some double-sided tape and I glued it to this picture frame that they fit on there perfectly and get held up and don't go anywhere, and they're really pretty. And I love my little moon snails back here, sorry. And then a bunch of little tinies, and there's some little tiny olives in there. Check that out. Little teeny olives. One of them somehow got turned backwards. I'll have to turn it around. That little tiny one got turned backwards somehow. And then I've got some really beautiful, these are small. Like, look at this little itty bitty one. Here is my finger in comparison to it. It is tiny. Teeny, 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 teeny olives. My favorite shell. And yeah. And this is called a spiny jewel box. And it's got little spikes on it. It's so cute. Let me see if I can show you kind of what it looks like. It is so cute. It's really small. It is so stinking cool. So see this thing, this little hole right here? It's a predator drill hole. Most likely a little octopus. This is the hole that they leave in shells when they eat the little, what they call a mollusk inside. They drill a hole in it and eat it. And then I have 3 of these guys that I think are super cute. Check this guy out. Absolutely amazing, right? That a snail makes these things. And it starts off this little itty bitty thing right here in the middle, and then it winds around and makes this absolutely awesome shell. And then I have a shark eye, which I wished I had more of these, but of course, when I'm not by the ocean, I can't get them. And I couldn't tell you if this was a false shark eye or a real one, because I'd have to see a false one and a real one together to see the difference, to be able to tell you. This is a lightning whelk. Look at this little one. The picture, the colors on this guy is just absolutely stunning. Look at this. A little snail makes that. Isn't that cool? Anyway, and then I drop it like a ding dong. But of course, they're very, for the most part, the shells are very sturdy and it's not going to break. There's another one. This is called a pear whelk, and it's pretty cool. And these are called turkey wings. And that's a true tulip. Now, I don't have a banded tulip, which you guys might not even know what I'm talking about, but I want one. This is my favorite true tulip. These are really hard to get. They're basically what you call a rare shell in Florida, and I happen to get one that's a really stunning one, a really, really beautiful one, almost perfect. It's got a little chippy on the aperture, which is what this is. They're really pretty rare to find, especially in the orange. And I happened to find one at a thrift store. I was like, what? Absolutely. And this shell, I haven't, I don't remember what it's called, but it's really shiny. I don't know if it's picking up on the camera or not, but it's super shiny and very slick feeling. Look at this. Is that beautiful or what? Look at the aperture on that thing. The color of it. It's orange and brown, and it's just beautiful. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? Sorry for my long video today, guys. Hopefully you're okay with watching it. And then we have these guys, and I believe they call this a spider conch. I'm not 100% sure. But I know it is a true conch because it has what this little guy right here. See this little hole, this little divot, and this one. This is where the eye stalks come out of, and those are called a stromboid notch. And it's where the eye stalk comes out, and the proboscis. This is the front of the shell, and this is the back of the shell. And I just think these are so awesome. that a snail makes this shell. I have two sizes of this guy, a little one and a little bit bigger one. They're not really that small, actually, considering I got these at a thrift store, right? And then I have this little conch here, which I think it's a hawkwing, but I'm not sure because it looks a little bit different in the coloring. And it's also missing this top part. This part up here is broken off. You couldn't really tell by looking at it if you didn't know. It usually has spikies on it like that. Not as pokey, but spikies nevertheless. And then I have this purple, beautiful purple clam. And then I have, these are sea stars, not starfish, they're sea stars. And I got those also at the thrift store. And then these are what's called knobbed whelks. Let me take this guy and pick him up and show you this cool knobbed whelk. So this opens to the right, okay? This is the front of the shell, and this is where the head of the animal will come out right here. And they'll go along, oop, there's a cat hair on it. It'll go along on the ground like this. And this is the back of the shell. Isn't that cool looking? Look at that. Isn't that neat? And I have 3 sizes of this one. I go figure how does God just be so cool and let me have things like this, you know? How does he do that? How does he know? He does. He just does. Anyway, so I have 3 sizes of those: little, medium, large, and jumbo. They do come bigger, I believe. And these are also clams back here, clamshells, or scallops, they call them too. Those are beautiful, aren't they? Aren't those beautiful? And then I have a plain white one, and then I have some, those are scallops back there, actually. And then this is one of my prized possessions that I got at a thrift store that is, look how shiny that is. This is called a lion's paw. And man, I'm telling you what, it's bigger than my hand. I just couldn't believe I found this very desirable shell that's not that easy to find like this at the thrift store. And I believe that somebody went snorkeling and got that. And then I have, this is called a giant, or an Atlantic giant cockle, or a heart cockle. So this thing on top is a lightning whelk. It's somebody glued it on there, but you can see why it's called a heart cockle. And they come in all different kinds of patterns, really beautiful. It had feet glued onto it, but somehow they got broken off before I was able to get it home to my house. It was like that when I found it at the thrift store. Here's another little sea star. And these are these are West Indian fighting conchs. Look at the shininess of this guy. Look how shiny he is. Isn't he pretty? Look at that. I just love this shell collection. I just had to show it. So I was lucky to get some of these, or blessed, I should say, that God blessed me with these cool fighting conchs, or West Indian, or Florida fighting conchs, or West Indian fighting conchs. These are also little conchs as well. There's the stromboid notch, those 2 little divots. But they're not, I don't know the name of them, what exactly their name is on these. So yeah, I am just like, I'm in awe of my shells. Here's some little These are clams back here. I believe these are clams. And then these are scallops, which I don't really know the difference, honestly. And then these are, I can't remember the name of them, but look how shiny they are. So usually they're shiny on the front and the back. But these sat in water for a while and got some, you know, crusty stuff on them. Now, I think if I dip these in muriatic acid, which I'm really hesitant to do because this shiny will go away if I do that. So I think I'm just okay. It's not going to come back shiny on the other side. So I'm just going to leave them. Oops, I'm going to go this way with it. Leave them like this so that you can see the shininess. And these are a type of turban shell. I don't think they're a chestnut turban, but they might be. The ones I see on, now it's got some crusty stuff on top. I am going to dip these in muriatic acid pretty soon. I did buy some Acid Magic that's more safe to use. And I'm going to dip those in and get that white crusty stuff off the top. Here's some of my tinies. And these are leopard. I think they're I don't know. I'll have to look it up again. There's some type of cowrie. Look at that, how shiny it is. It's a cowrie shell, and I have 3 sizes. This is not small by any means. This is a good size. But this is the front, and this is the back, I believe. Wait a minute. Yeah, I think so. Yeah. And then this little thing down the middle, I can't tell you I know what that is because I don't. But look how shiny that is. You can see yourself in these things. They're so beautiful. And I have 3 sizes. Now, these are, again, all at the thrift store. This one, somebody carved the top out of it, and I don't know what it said, but it had some sporadic looking letters on here that I just peeled off because they stuck these on, and I'm trying to get that off just to have this normal. But, yeah, anyway. Those are cool, right? And then here's my Queen Conch helmets. Now this guy right here, this means that whoever found this killed it and took the meat out from right there and ate it. And so this one is actually a fossil. This one fossilized, and it turned into a fossil. It's like stone. It's not the shell anymore. It's just a stone. But it's neat. They killed this one. And they killed this big girl. And then this one, I don't really know if she was killed, but her top is missing. She looks like a little vase now. So what I do, look how pink. I can't really see how pink it is. I guess you kind of maybe can. I can't tell through the camera what's happening. There we go. I just put her in here like this, and then I stick this. This is called the cob of a lightning whelk, the inside of it. And you can see on the inside how shiny, let's see, we'll go this way, how shiny the snail makes it while they're making the shell. Let me see if I can get this back in here the way that I had it. I may have to do this after I get off the video. Yeah, I'll have to do this afterwards. And these are some little sea stars, little tiny ones. And sea stars are an anemone, but they walk along the ground. And this is a spindle shell. Look at that cool spindle shell. This is the front. And this is the back. Isn't that neat? Oh my goodness, I just love these. And this is like some type of I can't even be honest with you. I can't remember what this is called, but I call it like a screw, a screw shell. It is so cool. Here's another type of moon snail, and this on here is what's called nacre. So when you see a pearl, that's what it's made of. This right here, the nacre of the animal. It has this green periostracum on it. That's what this pink stuff is called, the periostracum. It's what protects the shell in the ocean. And yeah, I tried to get that periostracum to come completely off. I can do it with muriatic acid, but I'm afraid of ruining it. I got this from a really sweet lady on YouTube, Florida Beach Walks. Go on there and watch her channel. She does shelling. She's a really, really nice lady. I received some beautiful olives from her because I wanted them. So I contacted her and on her Etsy shop and got some olives from her. They're really shiny. I don't know if you can see that coming through on the video. They're really, really shiny. They're my favorite shell. They're called a lettered olive. I don't know what the scientific name is, but these are my most favorite shell. It might not be somebody else's, but it happens to be mine. And I got these from her. Just, you know, wanted to show you my shells. Here's some cockles. These are prickly cockles. It shows the prickliness here. I think you can see it on the camera, how pokey it kind of is. They're like really rough. And then the inside has this beautiful color. Look at that. It looks like sherbet to me. Anyway, and then those are the Atlantic giant cockles. And then this is a different kind of cockle. I can't remember what it's called. But, and then this little guy, that's called a limpet. Isn't that cool looking? I'm going to pull him out of here because I want you to see what he looks like. Look at him. He is so cool. Isn't he cool? Look at how you can see through him. I think he's beautiful. Anyway, he's a limpet. They attach themselves to rocks, and that's how they live their life, attached to rocks. And then some limpets have lungs, so they're called a false limpet, and some limpets have gills. I know, it's weird, but it's pretty cool. And then these guys, look, check these guys out. These are really, really cute. These are what's called a slipper snail, okay? Check this guy out. And so check this out. Look at, it has an actual slipper. And the snail goes inside that little slot right there, slips inside there, and then it comes out to move along and eat and stuff like that. So that's called a slipper. I have a few of these little guys. One here, and then I have some over here as well. And so coolness, right guys? Coolness. And then I have these guys, which are also my very much favorite. Now, I can't tell you what they're called, but they're a type of murex, a murex shell. And there's different types of murexes, but I happen to get, I think these are the West Indian murex or something like that. Look at that. Isn't that pretty? It starts off that little lily billy tiny thing up there up top. That's the beginning of the shell. And then the animal just builds this beautiful lacy looking thing. I have two sizes in that. And then I have this other type of Murex. It's a pink mouth, I think is what it's called. A pink mouth Murex. It's pretty spiky, pretty cool little guy. Mind you, I got all of these at the thrift store. This one's a lot bigger. And I think the bigger that they get, the lighter that the pink gets. Yes, this aperture was broken, but what happens is like a hermit crab will go in there and then they eat the edges of the shell. So that's maybe what happened to this guy. But if you don't know shells, you will not know that that happened. These are oysters. This is a spiny oyster. They get little spikes on them. See those little points? They get little spikes on them. These have lost their spikes and they're broken. And I have two of them, but I kind of just mishmash them together and make a cool little display. These are jewel boxes. This is the top of a jewel box, I think. And then there's a bottom of a jewel box. There's different types, all different types. Look how cool that is. You can see through it. It glows really pretty. And this one's kind of a pink one. I like it. This one is just kind of an average one. And then we have this really neat one. They just build this crazy looking stuff around and it just goes kind of crazy. And it has beautiful color underneath it. I love this one too. And then this is like a death plate type thing. This is what our seashores that have hard rock is made of, basically, is crushed up little shells. You can see the little tiny shells in there. And it breaks off sometimes, and then you end up with pieces like this. So this is like limestone and shell kind of all glued together to make rock. And a lot of our beaches in America have, and other places too, have this as its foundation. It's pretty cool, right? Anyway, this is another fossilized shell. This is a another fighting conch, but it's fossilized. It still has some of its pink or peach in there, but it's definitely stone, fossilized, which I'll show you. It's this, but it's worn down and fossilized. Anyway, and then I made this cool little thing out of some random little shells that weren't in the greatest of shape. These are parts of quahogs, which is like a bowl shell. They're pieces of quahog that have broken apart off of shells and became little pieces on the sand. And then, yeah, and then these are sea glass, where glass tumbles around and gets all nice and soft edges and everything. And I have some other things too. Oh, here's another. This is another sea anemone. They usually have little spikes on them, long spikes and hairy looking things. And this is a pink and green one. It's got two colors. It's pretty cool. I can't believe I found one of those at the thrift store in perfect shape like that. And then this is a I can't remember what they call these. A spiked, come on, Karina, think about it. It's some kind of a top shell, but it's, I can't think of the name right now, guys. I'm so sorry. But it's pretty neat. It usually has these points coming out, but they're all obviously all broken off. And then this guy is, Why can't I think of anything at all today? This is how the snail hangs on inside, and it's got this whole side is broken off, but it's pretty cool still. I can't even think. Anyway, it's fine. You guys don't care anyway. By this point, you're done with the video. It's been long enough. It's been going on far too long now. So I just wanted to give you a 30-minute video of my seashells. If you have watched into this point, thank you so much for giving me your time today and watching my video. I've got some more calico scallops here. Look how pretty these scallops are. Man, are those gorgeous or what? Aren't those pretty? We have some really beautiful ones. Thank you for watching. Give my video a thumbs up. Make a comment. This is the inside of a conch, a type of conch shell. When I found these at the thrift store, they had cut them and made these beautiful looking little, they look like hearts and flowers together. Pretty cool. Anyway, just give it a thumbs up, make a comment, be nice, and have a great day. God bless you. Thank you for watching.